Hey guys, welcome back to some more Kirby Superstar. We're finishing up the Great Cave Offensive in this part, so let's get out of here.
No. Choice but to use the cart this time.
I don't have wheelie, I gonna have to.
Look at it this way, the cart has 2 wheels.
And it gives me a hat. I wish I can keep the hat.
Kind of reminds me in Sonic 4 Episode 1 when they actually had the animation of Sonic having like the little hat on whenever he was on the cart.
Now, for the DS version, they changed this because of the season thing. They changed this to a watering can. It's a gold watering can from Animal Crossing.
See, that's the thing. I thought, like, in hindsight, I know it was an Animal Crossing reference, but me, having not ever played Animal Crossing, I thought it was a Harvest Moon reference because it had an M on it. And I knew that the max tier watering can has an M on it in Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town.
Yeah, it's called It's Mithril. It's a Mithril.
Yeah, the Mithril watering can, and I'm just like, Megan, is this a reference to, like, maybe?
I mean, it would also kind of make sense, or at least for the original version, because this is still when Harvest Moon was big. And even then, DS was still when it was big, so it could have still been a reference to that too if people didn't understand Animal Crossing.
When it was still called Harvest Moon!
Yeah. Nowadays, it's called Stardew Valley.
Did he ever explain to you what happened with all that with Natsume and everything? Why it's not technically Harvest Moon anymore?
The publisher distanced themselves from the IP, I'm pretty sure, and then they went in 2 different directions. Kind of like with the Digimon World localization for the DS games being used for the Digimon story games, and then it not actually going back to being correct until Cyber Sleuth.
Oh, gosh. Yeah,
which, to be fair, I own both Next Order and Cyber Sleuth, both of which are good games in their own rights, so I'm totally cool with it.
Yeah, Amber really likes those games, don't you? Yeah.
Alright, putting it out there, guys. Once I've recorded RAWs for all the projects that I'm working on at the moment, Digimon World 1 PlayStation Let's Play. I'm not even joking.
Okay, Merry Christmas to us then.
Who wants to play 80 hours of a Tamagotchi game?
Oh boy. But no, I think the reason for going back to the Harvest Moon talk, the reason why is because Marvelous owns the rights to the games and stuff themselves, but the name Harvest Moon is owned by Natsume, and that's what like Marvelous can still make the Harvest Moon games.
No, you're not saying it right. It's Natsume.
Oh yeah, Natsume. But Marvelous could still keep making the games, but they have to call it something else.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. It happens a lot in the industry.
I had friends who I've just gone, so Friends of Mineral Town came out and it looks amazing, and I've sent them a picture of the box art because my sister got the pre-order bonuses, and they're just like, oh wow, that game looks incredible. It kind of looks like Harvest Moon, and I'm just sitting there silently for like 10 seconds, and I'm like, there'd be a reason for that.
It is Harvest Moon, it's just not Harvest
Moon. Like, and then like, just another wad of like 2 minutes of silence, and they're like, didn't I make a Doraemon version of that on Steam? And I'm like, how do I tell them that this actual game is on Steam as well? It was a very entertaining day.
Amber's been playing the new Story Seasons game, and she's really liking it. So I'm glad she is, because it does remind me a lot of it. Sorry for all the Harvest Moon talk, by the way.
What a watering can does too.
It's relevant. The watering can.
One watering can. That's all it takes.
One watering can. One can to water them all.
Chinese bamboo. How the heck did you hit that block with your charged plasma, by the way?
Because plasma's OP in this game. It's so broken. That, to be fair, is really difficult to get otherwise because the only easy way to get it is to use your helper to bounce up there, and it's so hard to get that right.
I love how you nudged your partner into that, and you're just like, come on, you know you want to. You know you want to be wheelie.
I don't want to be wheelie, you need to be wheelie. Because I can't jump as a wheel.
Couldn't you use the shuttle dive with wing to get it?
I don't think you have enough time, because that gate, as you see, moving optimally, it's still shut the moment we got past it.
Oh, no. I mean the one you hit with plasma.
Oh, that one, yeah. You can probably hit that block above your head with wing if you, like, angle it right with one of the attacks.
Yeah.
But the reason why I really want wheelie as a helper is when you're in wheelie, to make yourself the wheelie rider, you don't pick up powers anymore. And it's good, because if you don't want to lose your power, then you do that.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Because I don't want certain powers like Parasol.
Also, plasma's good to shield against the blocks hitting you as well as hitting the ones under you, so like that's a good combo to go in with.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I can use plasma in this game, you're going to see I use plasma. Because at least in the Super Nintendo version, of just how useful and broken it is. I still use it a good amount in the DS version, but not nearly as much as this version. I kind of wish the wheelie could break these by just driving. Plasma can, but wheelie can't.
Wheelie's just like, but piggybacking. Let's go.
I'm just a bike man. What do you expect from me? My whole shtick is I run into people.
Some say we tire of his shenanigans. That was a terrible pun. Never again.
Yeah, look, it's so bad. Kirby can't help but hurt himself so many times after that. Keeps on banging head against wall.
You got a chuckle from me, man. That was pretty funny. But then again, that's not saying much because I like puns.
I would rather people groan from my puns than be frustrated with everything else.
You can say that having puns is a real blast.
Yeet.
You know, from all the cannon blasts that you're doing. God damn it! Bugsy, you're going to die. Just accept it.
Yeah, I don't even need to do anything. You just walk into me and dead.
Wait, is that pre Tom Nook?
I mean, you can think of it, yeah. I mean, that's not actually what it's referencing.
It's referencing the Pon and Con mini bosses in Dreamland 3?
Yeah, it's resembling Pon, but obviously they didn't get introduced yet since this came before Dreamland 3. It's obviously just a reference to Japanese lore with the Tanukis and all.
One was released at the start of that year, and the other was released either the tail end in Japan or the next year in America, right?
Yeah, no, like Dreamland 3, I believe, was after the N64 was out for a little bit.
Oh.
I just wanted to get him full health. Because I don't want Wheelie to die yet since I want to keep him. But I have to get rid of my power because I need Crash to open this one door. I don't like this door. It's such a pace breaker.
I need a Bandicoot's help for this.
I'll just press one switch. Worst part is, my helper could press that switch if he had a power to shoot through the wall, but if I have a power to shoot through the wall, I can't use it underwater, like Plasma. Plasma can hit that as a helper.
I do like that the Orichalcum is one of the most expensive items in the whole treasure exploration because it actually does fit with the price lore of Final Fantasy games of the time as well.
Although it's funny, I believe, what was it, this version, it called it Oricon, or whatever, however it's pronounced. It's more in line with a reference to the Golden Sun series, but then they changed in the DS version to just be a more generalized item you find in an RPG instead of specifically to an RPG, which is hilarious to think about because Golden Sun hasn't come out yet, and they reference Golden Sun.
Again, to be fair, sword, falchion. Which I think is kind of funny considering sword is probably more than anything a reference to the Final Fantasy Adventure and by extension Sword of Mana series at that point.
Yeah, because Fire Emblem at this point was still pretty new. Or at least for when this came out on Super Nintendo for the Japanese audience. That's why it's just sword in this game, because Fire Emblem wasn't a thing worldwide until years later. So they probably thought no one would get this reference. Make it sword.
Wait until the Game Boy Advance.
Well, I mean, Fire Emblem came out in 1990, so
Yeah. Well, it started in the NES, but it was like late NES.
yeah,
Well,
very late.
I mean, I haven't had a look at the item listings in the Japanese version, but I imagine some of the changes made for Ultra were probably to make them closer to their original Japanese naming as well.
Yeah.
And I would just localize to be a little bit more understandable for some people.
Yeah, basically. Because some things have to get more generalized with this version, because there's some things we just don't understand here. And they did definitely change certain things for that reason.
Terrifying original Wham Bam Rock.
Those eyes. They always follow me.
Can I
I
say
like his appearance in Ultra so much better.
and I hope nobody takes offense to this, because what I'm trying to say is, like, was there a controversy with this boss?
I don't think so. To be fair, this is literally just a floating face. It just happens to be the background is dark. This is not like a Mr. Popo or Jinx situation.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing has giant lips. It's kind of obvious, man.
Believe me, people have found narrower things to put controversial censorship in before. With Wham Bam Rock, I don't think it's the case. I think it was more so they made Wham Bam Jewel look closer to this appearance in Ultra, and then they made Wham Bam Rock look a lot more ruin industry, more tribal.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't mean, I didn't want to be the one that says it, but it's just like,
Well, that's what I'm saying. This isn't really like the same things like the Jinx original face or like Mr. Popo situation, because that's just supposed to be a floating face. It just so happened the background they chose was not the best choice, since it does look a little different.
Yeah, all I will say is I think Wham Bam Rock's redesign looks so much cooler.
Yeah, it does look real good.
It's like a Crash Bandicoot mask, I'm not complaining.
yay, we finished it.
Now, this mode is actually the longest mode in the game, or one of the shortest ones if you don't grab the treasures. The treasures make up, like, 80% of this thing's length, because if you were just running through, we showed, like, one area you just completely skip. There's nothing there for you. And then the other area is just bum rush to the boss. You can beat this in, like, 20 minutes if you're not going for the treasures.
And I'll be honest, I don't think it's anywhere near as offensive as people think, even though it's in the mode's title.
I mean, the stage in Smash is more offensive than the actual mode.
Oh, absolutely. But that's the thing, is if you play it on Battlefield, it's basically just Metacrystal.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what numbskull is going to have Great Cave Offensive standard form in a tournament? No one would be that dumb, right? Especially not Nintendo. Oh, wait, they did that. Oh, no.
Surely if I jump into a random lobby, people won't be running it constantly and nothing else.
Yeah, well, that's a thing. I think still one of my favorite psychs I ever see people fall for in Ultimate is when, like, they're playing in Quick Play and they have their stage set to Battlefield forms. They get on Battlefield and then they jump and realize, oh no, that's big Battlefield. Oh no.
Look at all them items.
Look at all them golds.
Yeah, these squads are a little more boring if you don't go after all these treasures.
Absolutely.
They don't really all pop up like this.
Mr.
I
Savage.
do like the panning the pan and camera angles they had for Ultra. It's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more cinematic in that version. Man, these credits do take a while because of how slow the credits roll for the items.
Yeah, it do tend to be like that.
Yeah. It's one of the longer sequences outside the actual credits.
I forgot who Ramia is again.
It's meant to be referencing the Lamia enemies in Final Fantasy.
It's just more of a scale from a mythical creature in general. It's like it's not even a flat-out reference to a game. It's just a reference to a creature.
I know you said this earlier, Marley, but yeah, the Orichalcum, it's not even spelt right. It's Orichalcum.
Oh, how come?
Yeah, they changed that for the S. They fix it.
Good.
Oh, that good.